Thanks for listening to the NVTV Podcast, produced by Nequa Media.
Welcome to this episode of the NVTV Podcast. I'm your host, Aton. On today's show, we have two high school broadcasters, Jack and Justin. How we doing, fellas?
Great.
Pretty good. How about yourself, Aton?
I'm doing all good. On this fine Tuesday. So first off, we'll just start off with some questions here. What is the most exciting game you have ever called, just to break the ice and, get it going?
Yeah, I'd say Jack obviously has one more year of experience, but I'd say mine was last year. It was the Lockport game. Mostly my brother was on the team. He got an interception, tipped it off the quarterback, and caught it, and that was pretty exciting to be in the box for it and being able to call that.
Yeah, Lockport football game, of course. Did we win that game?
Yeah.
We did win that game, so that adds a little bit to it. Jack, you have any ones that stand out for you?
Yeah, I know Justin was smiling when he saw this question because he knows what I'm going to say. I'd say it was my freshman year, the Naperville North game of the Philly special call.
Oh, okay.
I got that post on Social, and all my friends, a lot of them call me Philly special now, which is kind of funny.
That's great.
I don't know. I think especially being my freshman year, it was a lot of fun. That game was very exciting as well.
So you've been doing this all 4 years of high school. Obviously, you're a senior, Justin, you're a junior. What are some things that you've kind of picked up, like on the way, kind of learning through experience?
I'd say the biggest thing for me doing this for the last 4 years is just like developing your skills each and every game. I think as you do your next broadcast and the one after that, you notice your development and you notice how much you've changed. And I think the biggest part about doing it is just the more you do it, the more you realize like just how much better you're getting. Because it's just a thing about practice. Like I remember before my freshman year, I was even doing I was playing Madden, without any of the announcers on. I would just do it by myself.
Yep.
That was something I always did as a kid. So, I mean, again, it's a big practice thing. And then once you get on air for the first time, it's a lot different. But, yeah, it just takes a lot of practice to develop all your skills.
For sure. Justin, is there anything that you've picked up from Jack? He has one more year of experience than you, but that 1 year does kind of go a long way in the broadcasting realm. Is there anything that you've kind of picked up from him?
No, for sure. I think the main thing that I realized after the first year doing it is you should talk slower so that you don't have to use as many filler words and so that you can think about what you're saying before you actually say it and you're not just rambling off stuff and starting to use filler words. And that's something I kind of picked up on this year, and also not repeating the same words and trying to use different vocabulary to describe each play. That's something that Jack does really well. You've seen him. He's got his board with all the words on it, and so I think that's something that helps.
For sure. So, Justin, you've been doing it for how many years? 2?
2 years.
And Jack, you've been doing it for?
I've been doing it for 4 years now.
Okay, so you have 2 more years of experience. My mistake there. But just talking about getting set up and, stuff that you learn along the way, how does preparation build into, kind of producing a good broadcast?
No, I would say it's a huge part of it. People don't realize what goes into it. We're looking on a bunch of different websites. Max Preps is a great one. I even, I'll go on and watch, Huddle Film, trying to see who the big players are. You're looking at stat sheets. And so you're pretty much doing the same thing that an athlete will do to prepare, but you're doing it for statistics. And you just got to know pretty much everything about the game that you could. You're looking at past games, you're looking into the future, so that if there's ever a moment of downtime, you know how to fill that spot, and it's not just dead air.
Yeah, for sure. And is there, a most important quality besides being good prepared that you think you have to kind of do this?
I'd say it's just staying focused for all 4 quarters of a game, especially a football game, because at the high school level, some of these games get lopsided at the end of the games. Some of the scores aren't always exciting, or there's a lot of different players in. So I think staying focused for all 4 quarters and the whole game is the most important part. Not necessarily preparing before the game starts, but just keeping and maintaining your focus throughout the game is probably the most important. For
sure. And so I asked you, what's the most exciting game you ever watched? Is there any games that you've just been get me out of here? I can't really stay focused. It's cold. Is there ever been a moment like that, a hard moment in this field?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Last game that we just did as football, last game of the season, we knew Niqua unfortunately couldn't make the playoffs. So we obviously we wanted to win out, but it did not go that way. If you were watching that game, it was not a pretty score. And it was cold and windy, and it was just horrible to be up there because we were losing by 20, and both of us just wanted to get out of there. And so, those are the points where, like Jack said, you just got to stay focused. You still got to give the right calls. But that was a game where I was like, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure you guys obviously are Niqua students, so you get frustrated when Niqua's not doing well or, not winning. Refs give a bad call. How do you guys stay objective and not be too critical on the broadcast?
So I'd say the biggest part is you have to realize, and this is something that you get when you develop through your skills, and I think the most important part is realizing that every other play is just as important as the last. Right, I mean, there's people watching at home who want to see their kids playing. They want to see what plays they're making, and every single play is just as important as the last. I think, again, maintaining your focus throughout the game, even when it's not going in your way or in your favor or as you expect it to be, just making every play or every call just as important as the last one, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's important for, families around the world, around the country, able to watch their kid or watch their family member play without, hearing them get criticized consistently. So what is the biggest challenge when you make a mistake on air? Because everyone wants to strive for perfect, but sports is fast, sports change. So how do you go about making a mistake?
I mean, I think it depends on exactly what the mistake is. I think sometimes you might just kind of skip past it and just kind of, if you realize it in the moment, you can just say it. So let's say you mess up somebody's player, the name, you messed up the number. Just next time, just fix it. You don't have to say anything. Sometimes you might be like, oh, sorry, correction, instead of blank tackling, that was whoever. And sometimes you don't even have to say anything, and you just go along with it because chances are that you might be the only one that realized you made the mistake.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of pivoting here, do you guys have any favorite players to watch, whether either – well, yeah, we'll go with at Niqua. At Niqua, do you have any favorite players to watch that or just you love to commentate their games?
I'd say somebody specifically on football would probably be Ben Stefanski. He's one of the most exciting guys to watch, and especially I've seen his development since my freshman year playing football with him, and I grew up playing football with him. So I think he's definitely one of the most exciting to watch, especially during kick returns and stuff like that. But, yeah, Justin, what about you?
Probably football just because we haven't done an equal basketball game. I'd say Hoffman, another player that's been on varsity for a while now, and, he's offense and defense side of the ball, and so sometimes we'll bring him in on offense and he'll make an exciting play.
Yeah, that's really fun. And I know your brother also played offense and defense here, right?
He did.
Yeah, so that must have been really fun getting to call some of his games and whatnot. Is there a favorite call that you guys have just overall sports? For me personally, it's going to be that triple bang, 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 bang. You guys have a favorite call that you have heard another broadcaster say?
I don't know if I can pick something up on just on the top of my head here because there's so many great ones. I think definitely one of my favorites is Gus Johnson, just a commentator himself. I really like his barbecue back there call. But I'd say one of my favorites might be Chris Johnson when he on the Titans. Gus Johnson, same call, running from cop speed. I really like that one. But
that's a good one. Justin, you got any?
I don't know. I was gonna say triple bang, but
yeah,
I guess I can't take that one anymore.
I think Auburn's gonna win the football game. It's a pretty good one too.
Yeah. That Iron Bowl game was just
Iron Bowl game is a pretty good one for sure. What is for you guys the funniest thing that has ever happened up in the booth?
I would say this is another recent one, and we still didn't really figure this one out. Something happened with our mics up there, specifically my mic. And we weren't really sure if any of the audience could hear us.
Yeah, it was more of the headsets. I couldn't hear you, but everyone on the broadcast could hear you. So we're trying to fix the equipment and everything, and they can hear Justin.
Holy.
But we don't think that they can hear Justin. It's just I can't hear him. So
yeah,
we just had to assume so.
We thought that my mic was completely done, but it ended up that everybody that was listening on YouTube could hear us. It was just Jack. And so some of the cues that we were saying, I'm saying I don't know if my mic's working, and Jack saying, I'm going to pick up both sides. I'm going to call color and play-by-play. And so that was just kind of fun because we were laughing during it because we had no clue. And it was a close game. It was a really close game, and it's coming down to the wire, and it happened in the last 2 minutes. And so that was something kind of fun.
Yeah, I think going back to earlier, one of the questions was like, how do you keep it like stay focused and stay upbeat for like some of those games that aren't really going your way? There was one point, I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe I think it was last year. I can't remember exactly what game, but there was a point where Drake threw a ball away out of bounds, and it just hit the TV. They cracked the TV for film.
I remember that.
And then the very next player, maybe 2 plays later,
when the garbage can.
Creedon punted it right into the garbage can. So that was fun. I remember that moment pretty well.
For sure, yeah. I do remember that. I was on the sideline for that one and just saw it dump right in. You know, it was really a great time. Well, since we're wrapping up here, just gonna go one more for you guys. Jack, obviously, you won't be doing any more games here at Nico anymore. So.
Oh, I got basketball.
You got
basketball.
basketball.
Do some basketball. Yeah.
Okay, so you still have
no more
basketball.
football for
no
sure.
More
no
football.
more football.
No more football.
Unless I come back for another year, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, super senior. You know, we've heard of it before. So, but is there anything that you want to leave to Justin or leave to whoever the next commentator that's going to take your spot is?
I don't know. Just I'd say doing it your senior years, you're gonna have some of the best memories, especially doing it for as long as I have, and it's gonna be the 3rd year for you next year. I think just taking it all in for that last game and just kind of being there, staying appreciative of all the people who put you in this opportunity, I think is the biggest part. And yeah, I'd say just staying appreciative for sure.
Justin, anything to go off of that?
No, I'm excited. You know, obviously it's going to be new. I'll get a new partner, whoever that is, and it'll be exciting, and I hope it'll be just as fun as this year was.
And that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you to Justin and Jack for joining us on the NVTV Podcast. The NVTV Podcast is produced by media students at Nico Valley High. Enjoy the rest of your day.